Hey y'all, my name is Jen and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I wanted to share what I did over the weekend. I ended up going to the Ocala market for Spookala's Blowout event and I got some merchandise, talked to a lot of good folks there. So I wanted to share my experience as well as a little bit later in the video, um, show you what kind of goodies I got from Cracker Barrel. They have released their preview Halloween merchandise. It's not even Memorial Day, but for those in the spooky life understand, we'll take what we can get. So I got a very small haul, but I wanted to geek out and kind of just show you what I got. So share the wealth, as they say. So sit back, grab a snack, and relax. Have a good time with me. Let's get started. So, for those who may not know, Spookala is a horror and Halloween-ish convention event that happens annually here in the state of Florida. They originated in Ocala, Florida, hence their name Spookala. And they're fantastic. My husband and I have gone to their events since their inception, I think. So it's kind of bittersweet to they're not going away. They're not going anywhere, y'all. They are incredible. However, they do have to select a new name, their namesake, moving forward, which they are in the process of doing. They're in that transition. Because of that, they had a blowout sale. And so they have a ton of merchandise that have the Spookala logo and name on it. And they essentially have to get rid of it. And that's where we went on Sunday. So long story long, we got there around 10 o'clock in the morning. The event started at 11. And they had, like, on the front table, they had a table full of t-shirts, shot glasses, signed posters of the event, as well as just regular posters, which were free. Then they had magnets. They had, like, those actual, like, advertising signs, like the kind that you put on the side of buildings. They were selling those. They had everything and everything. They had Funko Pops, signed Funko Pops, and like this huge ghost faced. I don't know what I was gonna say, but ghost face plush. So I scored about like 5 t-shirts. T-shirts were $10, so you couldn't beat it. So I got a few namesake, like, actual t-shirts that, like, said Spookala on them, as well as like a fun little eyeball one, which I'm familiar with this one. I think this was a couple of years ago. It has like an eye on it. It's really cool. So got one of those. Another vendor in the market, they had one of their, I think it was advertised that they were going to have about 50 vendors. I'm not quite sure if all 50 were there, but there were quite a few. And one of the first booths that I made a beeline to, big shout out to the Horror Hoarders. And I'll put a link in the description for all of their social media. She was incredible, very interesting woman. But the items that she had, or she specializes in, they are some antique goods, as well as Halloween slash horror related items. Some were antique, some were newer. Great mix of things. And I couldn't help myself. I ended up picking up this little guy, this little pumpkin guy. He looks so vintage to me. It was so cute. It's another tea light holder, as well as this amazing bat. Oh my gosh. I'm like one handing it, so I apologize. This cool, like, iron, pretty heavy, like wrought iron bat. And it's a tea light holder as well. I think you're sensing a theme here. I can't get enough of tea lights, apparently. And then the pièce de resistance, so they say. Y'all check this out. It's a freaking cat. It's a freaking cat. It's a vintage cat. Not just any cat, it's a vintage cat. And if you're watching, don't worry. Little guy has a great home now. So I don't know. This may not fit into, like, my all year round dark decor, but dag nabbit, I'm gonna figure out a way to keep this guy around. The next booth, I got some stuff at too. It's custom painted precious moments. So y'all remember, like, the precious moments of, like, our grandmothers that used to buy, like, in the 80s and 90s? Well, Carol, the owner and artiste of this small business, she takes the precious moments and she applies a fantastic paint job, but not only just a paint job. There were quite a few that had extensions, so she would make it out of clay and like make it super custom. This is one of the newer pieces that she painted, and I think I'm familiar with this Precious Moments, but it's yeah, it's like a very like headless horseman Ichabod kind of feel, maybe Jack Skellington, all of the above. Very very reasonably priced. Again, what you're getting is quality. It's art, unique. I have never seen this before. I thought it was an ingenious idea. So please support small business. It's so, so important, especially here locally in the state of Florida. You know, we have such tourism here. You have like the big theme parks here. There's a lot of merchandise out there. Fantastic merchandise, by the way. I partake in it all the time. You know, but it's nice to have local artists and to support them. So, thank you, Carol, if you're watching. You were very generous with your time. So thank you very much for taking the time to speak with me. Okay, so now it's time for Cracker Barrel goodness. So Cracker Barrel just released maybe about a week ago their pre-Halloween Code Orange preview Halloween merchandise. And I'll put a kind of a flash thingamabob so you can kind of see. Some are already sold out. Like we do not sleep, we do not rest, spooky folks. But don't fret. Typically with these places, they should renew their inventory at least one or two more times before the season actually ends. So you may be able to get all that you want. The two items that I did purchase, they don't come as a set, but they are complimentary. And the first one, I'm living, y'all. Little ghost cat. This one retailed for $19.99. Actually, it's kind of a steal. It's not a bad price point for this. Fairly heavy and super detailed. I don't know if it's like picking it up on camera, but it's not just like a standard matte black blanket. There's like shadows. I don't know how they did it, but it's gorgeous. I love it. So the second piece complements it, and instead of the cat, it's a doggy. Look at that. How stinking cute this is. Look at that. It's Fido. It's Fido, but a ghost. Again, really beautifully painted. Pretty heavy. It's actually bigger than the cat. And this one retailed for $37.99, if I'm not mistaken. If I am wrong, I'm a liar, and I will put the correction up on screen when I edit this. So yeah. So those are the two things I got at Cracker Barrel. It's only just begun. I think At Home will also be putting out their stuff. Word on the street is probably in June. So if you haven't heard it, you heard it here first. Probably June, which typically not shocking. I think last year it was about the same time, but I spoke to an employee at the At Home store in my area. And again, I'm in Florida, Central Florida. And she mentioned that it would be late May or early June. So keep an eye out, keep checking their website. But that's all that I have for today. Thanks for watching. If you watched this far, I appreciate if you liked, comment, subscribe, all the great things. And I appreciate you watching.